Gifting Suite,
Yes.
the day before the ESPYS. Did you roll in on a Rolls Royce?
No, but I'm trying to roll out with one.
I think you might be successful.
I heard they was giving them away.
They are.
Yeah, so they said that the 1,000 person that walks in gets one, so I just keep leaving and coming back.
I know that. Yeah, is that why you're circling? I see you circling.
I just go in, I get all the stuff, and then I come right back in.
In case you guys don't know, this is Ephraim Salaam, former player, Fox commentator.
Yep.
How's life, man?
You know what? Life is good. I had retired from something that I love to do and got an opportunity to do something else. So I'm still dreaming. I haven't worked a day in my life according to, my likes. So I'm having fun. It's easy. It's fun. I love it. I love showing my personality and talking about a sport that I grew up loving.
Now, it's interesting. I feel like nowadays there's more to talk about with sports than there was then. The rules, the regulations, there's more drama. How do you feel about all that?
Well, because, with the introduction of social media, so now everybody's a reporter. So it's more stories out there. So if you meet an athlete in a restaurant or something, he's a jerk to you, and then you tweet that gets picked up by everybody. So now we have to talk about that. We have to comment on it. So it's so many different outlets for media. So now it's more stories. It's more energy, more stories. So they give me more to talk about.
How do you filter what you want to talk about and what's worth the time to put on a bigger platform than social media? How do you do that?
It's hard. And producers are usually in charge of that. And whatever is the most salacious, then that's probably what they want to talk about the most.
All right, fair enough. So the last team you played for was the Texans.
Yeah.
And when you played, well, this year, I believe they're on Hard Knocks this year.
Yes, they are.
What do you think that brings to the table for preseason, for any team?
I mean, I love it. When I was playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars a long time ago, we had Hard Knocks in our training camp. So it just gives people an in-depth, look at what really goes on behind the doors. And they get to really meet these players that they love watching on a personal level.
So you think it's legit? It's not like hyped up or made to be dramatic. It's a pretty good demonstration of what happened.
It's pretty above board in terms of what's really going on. The conversations that the public gets to see between coaches and GMs and owners, those are real conversations. I watched it and I cringed because you never, as a player, you never really feel like you're, a commodity. You never really feel like you can be replaced. But to hear how coaches and GMs talk about you, it kind of puts everything in perspective.
And do you think that's also changed? I feel this whole free agency and franchise players, I feel like that has also changed in the past 5-10 years. You know what I mean? Like, it's much more known that it's a business, not a team thing. How do you feel about that?
Because the fans want to be more involved. And because they want to be more involved, you have owners and coaches that want to get them more involved. So things are not swept under the rug anymore. And like I said, with social media, things come out of the locker room that normally would never come out of the locker room. You look at that Jonathan Martin, Richie Incognito situation that happened 2 years ago, that would have never come out of the locker room before. But now because you have social media, it came out and now we have to address it. So people are really being engaged in their favorite sports.
Right. Now, do you think stuff like that should come out of the locker room, or it's meant to stay in the locker room and it's kind of okay?
For me, I'm an old school guy, so I feel that it's meant to stay in the locker room because teams need to be able to handle their own environment, handle the situations that come up amongst themselves. So when you put the public eye on it, then they don't really get handled as well as they normally would in private.
I agree with you, because I feel like the NFL has had quite the task in regulating things that happen across. Like, there's many different things that are happening, policies and procedures that kind of just weren't in place, or maybe not ready for this social media to exploit all this stuff.
Yeah, it's you definitely pull the curtain back, and now when people see what's behind the curtain, they don't like it. So they want people to do something. They want the commissioner, they want the coaches and the owners to do something about it. But back in the day, it had a way of weeding itself out and playing it out to where nobody really got hurt or anything. It was just, veteran guys on the team would handle these type of situations. Now, the media has to handle it for us. And I don't know if that's a good thing.
No, I kind of agree with you. My last question I want to ask you about, how do you feel about fantasy football?
I love fantasy football. I mean, I think they should draft more offensive linemen. I think offensive linemen should be a part of it. But I love fantasy football. I play in the off season. During the season, And I never got into it while I was playing, but now that I'm, retired, I love it.
Well, for me, it's funny because for me, I feel like with kids, like with this social media, with this fantasy football, it allows them to like different players rather than keep their team. Like you don't have people that, like I'm a big Jets fan and we're terrible and it's fine and we're gonna be great this year. But I love it and I love my team. But now like my nephews claim they're Giants fans, but then they want a Des Bryant jersey because it's like is this fantasy football just a stunt to make more people buy more jerseys?
Oh, I mean, the one thing the NFL is trying to do is monetize, fantasy football. When they realized how much of a business it was, they're trying to get involved. They're trying to promote it. They have their own leagues now because they want to monetize it. Fantasy football is free. You sign up online, you play. But now they're trying to really, because it's a big business. It's like gambling, but not really gambling. You know what I mean?
Like legit gambling.
Right. That's exactly right. So they're trying to find their ways to really monetize it and make it profitable for themselves.
All right, I'm still not a fan of fantasy football. I can't do it because I can't ever root against my team either. So
I get it. I get that.
Well, thank you so much. What are you looking forward to about tomorrow, about the show?
I just want to see. I'm a fan of athletes, so I just love to see athletes being recognized and teams being recognized. So I'm just a big fan, So I want to see the women's soccer team. That was awesome. So I'm really excited about that.
All right, well, thank you so much for chatting. It was great to meet you. Take care.